Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Football Moshla. We are back after a long time. I'm your host, Qazi Adil, and I
And
have with me my wonderful co host.
Fardan. We're back on Football Moshla Podcast after quite some time. We were juggling with our schedules and everything. A lot of things are changing in our worlds, and a lot of things have changed in the outside world, in the world of football. So, since our podcast is dedicated to football, we all of us at Football Moshla Podcast are very deeply hurt by the loss of Diego Jota, and we will dearly miss him. Talking about FPL Premier League, how close we are to the Premier League and the FPL. And I, as a Portugal fan, thanks to Cristiano Ronaldo, also got close to the Portugal players. So it kind of hurt me in a different way, and it hurt me after the successes he had. He in a very short space of time, especially Liverpool winning the Premier League, Nations League with Portugal, and him tying the knot with his wife and while having three kids. It was I was deeply saddened. I couldn't take it normally.
Yeah, that's true. And also, for me, I could relate to the fact that he's a father. I'm a father as well. And leaving behind three kids, I have two kids of my own. Um, yeah, it's hard. It just gives perspective to life that how unpredictable it can be, and there are no guarantees. So that's it. That's why I always try to spend as much time as possible with my loved ones, and always have that. I don't take. I always have that in the back of my mind, and I never take anything for granted, especially the time spent with loved ones. And yeah, so even as I'm not a Portugal fan, but as a rival fan of Manchester United, I was very much in shock because it's a player that we know. It's like we see them quite often in the Premier League, and it's like okay, they went on vacation and they're gonna come back. We're just gonna see them in August, so it gives perspective to life to an extent. Yeah, so that's Diego Jota. Hopefully, his family and his loved ones can find the strength to deal with this and hopefully recover whatever they can from this.
Our thoughts and prayers go out to Diego Jota, his teammates, his family, his children, and everybody. And speaking of unpredictability, how unpredictable is that? Yes, we definitely look forward. Oh, the season's about to start. The season's about to start. What's going to be our FPL team? What's going to be our new transfer? Who's going to wear a different jersey this season? And we have to lighten the mood and go on to the unpredictable nature of the transfer rumors that we have upon us. That's been not rumors. We have deals that happen. We don't have a hijack case yet, but we have had so many different drama. I don't know if you want to start with Nico Williams.
I do want to start with Nico Williams, and I was off when we have. Here's the thing: we have had a long break. The last episode was right before the Champions League final, and dark horses PSG, like I said mentioned before, won the Champions League, uh, and I think they're gonna win the Club World Cup um,
By beating Madrid in the semifinal.
by beating Madrid in the semifinal and beating Chelsea in the final. So I that's my prediction. So in between, I was telling Fardan that Nico Williams to Barcelona is happening, but does he fit basically? Because Hansi Flick had Yamal on the right and Rafinha on the left, and there have been rumors about Luis Diaz coming in as a backup. And then there's a guy called Rashford who wants to play for Barcelona because he just declared himself the love that he has to play for Barcelona and play with Lamine Yamal. So I was like, hey, Nico Williams and Yamal, and maybe Rafinha go plays as a false nine, or who knows?
Yeah.
So that was the thing. But then the reports started coming out that he wanted guarantees that he can be registered. He wanted written guarantees that he would be registered because Barcelona. Remember last season, they bought a lot of players, but they couldn't register them for a long time. And I think sometimes even when the season started, after the season started, or right before the season started, they registered Danny Olmo and the other players. So yeah, so Nico Williams to Barcelona is completely off. He signs a 10-year contract, 7 or 10 year contract, Fardan, with Athletic Bilbao. His brother is part of it. His brother is, I mean, here's my thing. If you don't want to leave, then why? I mean, the way I see it is that if you don't want to settle down with this girl or guy,
It's a 8-year deal.
it's an 8 year deal. Acha. So why even flirt? Like you want to flirt, uh, do the thing. So he basically wanted obligation to buy.
I bumped into Kanchan Bhai this morning, and as a Barcelona fan, for our viewers, he was earlier in our podcast, he was talking about the Champions League final preview. So he said that, as a Barcelona fan, they know some of the inside stuff that maybe we don't know, like just how we know Manchester United stuff. So they know Nico Williams was desperate to come into Barcelona, and he really wanted the Barcelona tag to be under his name or vice versa. And he based off the drama that was happening back and forth with Bayern Munich coming in and expressing interest and potentially they didn't officially give him a bid, but he was too much to juggle, and even if it was a lower offer from Barcelona, he would have gone to Barcelona. And the Spanish Football Association also wanted Nico Williams to come in and play on the left wing, because if we Yamal and Nico Williams play in the same team, the team chemistry would be so much better for the upcoming World Cup, which is exactly a year later. So he then had to, he's a young guy and he cannot handle the drama, and he was deeply saddened and he was hurt. So he took that dramatic reel where he puts the palm in front of the camera and he wears the athletic club. He's like, okay, I'm here.
Is that the inside scoop?
I think so. From coming from a Barcelona fan,
Oh, okay. But I think the Romano inside scoop has been uh, that he wanted guarantees that he wanted a guarantee that he will be registered with Barcelona. It was a written guarantee that he wanted, and I think that's what Barcelona were not willing to give him. Something along those lines, and that's why the deal went off.
that makes sense.
And on the other hand, I think Atletico Bilbao was like, okay, we're gonna pay you this much amount of money, and this is gonna be an 8 year contract or whatever. So, and the brother is there, the family is there. So that's the thing. And I don't see him moving anytime soon, but I don't see him winning anything anytime soon either with that club. Remember Ander Herrera? I mean, very rare players move from Atletico Bilbao, comes to Manchester or goes to a bigger club and wins because though that club is, but it's a very consistent club. They're mid-table. Um, but yeah, so I guess that's the story with Nico Williams. So he's staying put. Barcelona might be now going after Luis Diaz from Liverpool, or maybe the Rashford thing is still lurking in the background.
Yeah, the Luis Diaz, I think it's no longer happening for Barcelona, correct?
Well, I think my point of view, if you ask me, then with the Jota situation, I don't think Liverpool will now want to let Luis Diaz go um, because
Makes sense.
they
Yeah,
would need coverage, right?
with
So
Nico Williams. He was always the sub that came in and kind of, saved them for trouble. So
yeah, yeah. So that's that. And then speaking about Liverpool, they smashed the transfer record to sign one of your favorite favorite players, Florian Wirtz. Wirtz, who's also actually he came back from an injury, serious knee injury, and then he cemented his form or his ability, and Liverpool saw something in him.
I really love him as a player. I saw what he did with Leverkusen. I did not want him to go to Bayern Munich. Like, nothing against Bayern Munich. I just think that that team does not need to get stronger. They're already in a very good shape. But I'm always excited to see a player from a different league coming to the Premier League. And him, Wirtz, coming into the Premier League, playing for the champions. It gets me really excited. I mean, I know we're going to get thrashed as a Manchester United fan, but I don't care from the FPL perspective, from the draft perspective, from anywhere. I would love to see him in a Liverpool shirt playing the Premier League.
Are you sure that he's gonna score like tons of goal against Manchester United, like more than the what is it? It's the 7 or 9 that we conceded. Well, how many we conceded against
It,
Liverpool?
no, along that lines, 5 to 7. I'm expecting us to concede a lot because Manchester United, look at them. They haven't invested in defense at all. Nothing. There's nothing happening. So I think that even if we get relegated, I would not be surprised this time.
No, Manchester United will make other teams relegated. They will never relegate themselves because you have Onana and Maguire in the back. Uh,
To us about uh, Benjamin Šeško. Is he coming to the Premier League?
the rumor was he was coming to the Premier League, especially with Arsenal. But as of today, I don't think he's coming to Arsenal. He might come to the Premier League, but I don't know who's he's going to play for because the rumor was Arteta was after Benjamin Sesko, but Gyökeres is the one that they're getting. Viktor Gyökeres is almost close to agreeing terms with Arsenal
Yeah,
as a
very
striker.
close.
And Arsenal, we're going to talk about Arsenal a little bit later, but Arsenal looks very dangerous, very strong. And Gyökeres with that team behind him will running the channels. Oh my God, that's going to be a crazy, scary situation. I would love to see him going up against Virgil van Dijk on a personal level. But then the question remains if Benjamin Sesko from RB Leipzig from the Bundesliga, he's coming to who then? Is he coming to Manchester United? Is he coming to Tottenham Hotspur? I'm just throwing names out there because, or is he coming to Chelsea? Because Chelsea already signed two strikers, didn't they? They signed Liam Delap and then they signed
João Pedro.
João Pedro. So maybe Chelsea can. I mean, definitely Chelsea can afford him, but do you think that Chelsea's going to get it? I don't know. Maybe uh, he's not coming to the Premier League if it's not with Manchester United, or maybe he comes to Liverpool. I don't know because that's a possibility there
He
too.
was linked to Arsenal initially a
He
few
was
weeks
linked
back.
to Arsenal. There were no other links, either Arsenal or Bayern Munich, I think. So I can see him going to Bayern Munich after Joker is going to Arsenal. So Sesko, if he's coming to the Premier League, then it is through Liverpool, I guess. Even,
Okay,
even
fair
though he's
call.
not, even though he's not linked with him, unless Manchester United does something crazy and goes for him, I highly doubt it.
And again, Manchester United, there were rumors about us signing a keeper, a good keeper. I forgot his name. You know his name, I'm sure. That didn't come through.
Diego Costa, and then there's Emi Martinez.
Hey, Martin, those things have been circling for what, so long? I'm pretty sure those are dead deals right now, unless something dramatic happens. But we desperately needed a good keeper, a good defensive signing. Anyways, speaking of defense, I have to mention Bournemouth. Gyökeres and Houston are off. Houston is already playing in the Club World Cup. He's set to miss the next game. He got a red card. That was a dramatic game, Madrid and Dortmund. Madrid very close to losing. But anyways, what's gonna happen to Bournemouth defense, man? I feel like they're gonna go to relegation zone.
Well, I think see the team. I always liked Bournemouth and Brighton's transfer strategies. Um, Bournemouth always have good scouting department. Always had, or they still have. So I think Bournemouth will replace these players. Kirkez, I think they're gonna. I think they're in the process of signing a left back already. They're gonna replace Kirkez. With the Houston, I think they didn't sign anybody, but also the person that Houston replaced, he's coming back from injury, if I'm not wrong. So that's covered there. And then Zabirna or
Zabarni.
Zabarna, right? What is
Hmm.
it? Yeah,
Zabarni.
Zabarni. That's going to PSG. So he's rumored to
He's
go.
a good center back.
He's a good center back. He's rumored to go to PSG. So I think they're gonna replace. I don't. I mean, they might flirt with the relegation, but also if they can hold on to Clivert, Semenyo, they just signed a new contract, right? So
Yeah.
Semenyo signed a long-term contract. So if they can hold on to uh, what is it, Tavernier, Clivert, Semenyo, Evan Nilsson, and even what is it, Jefferson or there's a Jebison, there's a the striker that's a backup striker. So if they can hold on to these
They have
players,
no problem with attacks, but even the midfield is okay. But defense, I don't see them defending. It
Yeah,
might happen what happened to Wolves last season. I see them like, 16th place, 17th place, crawling up, barely hanging on.
well, it could be, but also to remember the manager Iraola is a good manager, so
He's a good manager, yes.
he can bring out best from the players that he has.
For sure, for sure. So moving on from Bournemouth, we have to talk about the potential Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
My favorite Dominic Calvert-Lewin, the striker that shined under Carlo Ancelotti when he was the manager of Everton, and Carlo Ancelotti actually still admires Dominic Calvert-Lewin. That's why he's a free agent right now, and Carlo Ancelotti is manager of Brazil. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin is an option for Manchester United in the striker department. He's a free agent. He can come in. He can score the goals. And the question remains: is he better than Xerxes or Hoyland? That is a question that will.
Not better than Xerxes, better than Hoyland.
And aerial presence will be there. I think I can see him, but I don't think if he's gonna fit the Amarim system. So to fit the Amarim system, you have to run the channels. And unfortunately, a player like Hoyland can't even do that with his physical presence and his agility and speed. I don't know if Dominic Calvert-Lewin can do it after coming back from those serious injuries that he sustained. So Dominic Calvert-Lewin to Manchester United is a big possibility. But here's some Moshla for you. Do you want to hear that?
He's
I still believe Manchester United are going to end up signing none of these strikers that they're linked with. They're going to end up signing Mateta.
Well, I would be thrilled to have Mateta as a Manchester United striker. I'd be so happy to see him in our colors and at Old Trafford, and it would be amazing. Trust me, I would be very happy. Is there any other Manchester United needs we have? Maybe Christopher Nkunku?
Christopher Nkunku might come to Manchester United or has been offered for £35 million. That's a rumor out there. £35 million for Christopher Nkunku. I would have taken him if we didn't have Xerxes or any number 10-ish players. I don't see him as a striker, neither did Chelsea. So he can play off the striker, but Manchester United needs a striker. So I have no idea how Nkunku fits in. And also, there's some problems with his injury situation because maybe he never recovered from that injury. So the question is he a good fit for United or any Premier League club? He might be a good fit for the Bundesliga clubs, but not the can he deal with the physicality of the Premier League? That's the biggest question. Yeah, Manchester United. There are tons of news about Manchester United. Are we going to talk about them?
Why not? Let's finish Man U and then we can talk about Arsenal.
Manchester United let a few players go on free transfers. Victor Lindelof is gone. Johnny Evans is gone. There is who else is gone? There's uh, on top of my head the outgoings were not that. Oh, Christian Eriksen. So they're gone. Casemiro is still there, earning a nice paycheck. Uh, Ugarte is still there. Uh, yeah, so five players are leaving. There have been some rumors that they have handed in the transfer request, and now they're backtracking and they're saying that the transfer requested were not handed in, but the manager doesn't want these players. Five players to leave are Anthony, if you want to say it like that, from going on loan to Real Betis. Your favorite, Jadon Sancho, who once made Nuno Mendes look average on the right wing. Actually, after that, he said, "I did all I did in my career. That's it. I'm going to take a break." There's Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, and Tyrell Malacia. So we almost forgot about Malacia. Nobody wants him. We have stocked in that department. We just
He
signed.
wants out. He wants out.
He wants out. We have Diego Leon, his 17-year Paraguayan international, joining us. That deal was done in January. We have Patrick Dorgu in the left back position. We have Luke Shaw there. So we're pretty much well covered in that in athletic wise, um, apart from Luke Shaw. So physical ability wise, basically. And then the Rashford situation is very. I don't think Marcus Rashford will ever hand in a transfer request out of his love for Manchester United. He will be like, "All right, you want me to leave? I'll leave. No drama needed. Um, I'm just gonna go." So I don't think Marcus Rashford situation will be a problem if they can find a buyer for him. Clearly, Aston Villa never took up the £40 million option to sign him, so that is concerning for me. Maybe they saw something in him that they thought that it's not worth spending that much amount of money on him. So I just don't see how we're gonna offload these players with money coming in from these players. They might be offloaded as loans, which doesn't help the cause if we are paying half of the loan wage, half of the salaries or wages. So Jadon Sancho rumored to go to Juventus. He might have to take a pay cut, which he's willing to do apparently. So that's an option. Anthony to Real Betis is a solid option. Might be a loan to buy, and we cover the salary. Rashford to Barcelona is the only rumor that I'm hearing. That might be late in the transfer window. And Garnacho. Apparently, this thing leaked while we were like kind of in our preseason or end of season mode. It's like Amorim apparently told Garnacho to you better pray that you find a new club or there's a club willing to take you. So apparently, if that leaks, then that means that he's something is wrong with Garnacho. I,
If I was Garnacho, I would not be worried about um, finding a club. Premier League clubs who likes the speed and the way he's Premier League material. So Garnacho will find a home, definitely.
to who though? Chelsea was interested, but Chelsea now is not going after him because they signed Bino Giddens.
They,
JB,
they they are did they sign already or they're close to sign?
they signed. They officially.
They signed. So Gittins is a good one. Chelsea is swooping up a lot of people. Speaking of Barcelona, Dumfries may be up for grabs for Barcelona. They're reportedly interested, but if Barcelona doesn't take, couple of unnamed Premier League clubs are after them as well. Do you want to get into the crazy things Arsenal are doing?
Yes, please, because Arsenal are killing it this transfer window so far, alongside Chelsea, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah. So the rumor is, and it's going to be confirmed today. It's going to be um, Viktor Gyökeres to Arsenal as a striker. They already signed Zubi from Real Sociedad. That was a long time ago when they wanted to get Marino last season.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Marino and Zubi going to be clubmates again for the playing for the same team. Then I think then there is
Madueke.
Madueke. That's a rumor.
50 million Chelsea want for him. 50
Yes,
million from Madueke. It's a steep price tag.
but they're offsetting it by no Giddens. You know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And Benjamin Šeško is still a blur. I don't know if Arsenal might get, but then again, we're not worried about Benjamin Šeško much. It's
No, no,
it's
no.
like
If
with
they're
the
getting Victor Gyökeres, they're not getting Benjamin Sesko.
yeah, yeah, for sure, because that's gonna be a heavy sum they have to pay for Viktor Gyökeres.
Yeah. So and then there's also rumor about Eze from Crystal
Oh,
Palace.
wow.
Eberici Eze. Like how
If
does
Eze plays alongside Martin Odegaard, even if he comes on as a sub with those set pieces and the tricks, and he's a great number 10. He was so good for Crystal Palace. Man, he'd be killing it in Arsenal.
you want to hear something Moshla stuff here? My opinion, and this is completely my opinion.
Dvipasha? Okay.
Eberici Eze is a lazy player,
Oh, his work rate is less. Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
and
his work rate.
apparently Arsenal wants him to cover the left wing instead of Martinelli. I have no idea how he's going to do that. I have
Oh my
no idea
God.
that lazy player. So the best way to play Eberici Eze is to play him behind the striker as a number 10. Who's gonna be in the bench? Odegaard? Oh,
No,
Arsenal
no.
fans gonna. Yeah, you guys rate him very highly, Martin Odegaard. I mean, including you. Odegaard is like that's why Real Madrid let him go.
I like his style of play. I personally I like his style of play. Oh, that was a great buy. Yes, we talked about it briefly off camera.
I think we're forgetting someone else, but if we're forgetting someone else, please forgive us. But
For Arsenal,
yeah, are we forgetting someone else?
I think we covered. Oh, the thing is that after the Club World Cup, Arsenal will again talk to Madrid about potentially getting Rodrigo.
Yeah, Rodrigo is a solid option for them on the left wing. And another thing, Thomas Partey. Uh, Thomas Partey to his contract has run out, so they have not renewed it. Ran out on June 30th, and then the right there the reports started coming in that there have been some allegations about rape. Three three women has actually allegedly accused him of sexual misconduct. So there has been an outcry from Arsenal supporters that why this was handled the way it was handled by Arsenal, because Arsenal commented and stated that they're not going to comment on this situation because the player's contract ended on June 30th. And for the last 3 years, there have been rumors, and there have been rumors, and Piers Morgan, I think, have said it also. The rumors are true. Then there have been rumors that there's one Arsenal player who is actually playing with allegation of sexual misconduct, and Arsenal knows about it. And this thing came up during the time Mason Greenwood was going through his stuff.
That's like 2022.
Correct. So there was this thing that Arsenal is letting the player play. The name has not been disclosed, but why is Manchester United making it a big deal about Mason Greenwood's situation?
Mm. Hmm.
So that's the one. So Thomas Partey played and it finished his contract, and I think Arsenal kind of like did it. It's not a good move, but it's like okay, your contract. We're not going to renew your contract, but we're not going to say it beforehand. So, but I think the rumor is that people are crazy because Arsenal wanted to renew the contract, and Thomas Partey did not. They couldn't come to an agreement. So that's the whole thing. So
Wow.
that's a very delicate and difficult situation. But Arsenal just wants to do like we don't want anything to do with this situation, and that's what they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
I hope the allegations are wrong because Thomas Partey, he has a big fan following and everything. Arsenal also, we know what he has done for Arsenal, and we really hope that those are not true.
When
Yeah,
sorry, my 2 cents on this or
yeah,
what's
sure.
these allegations always are right.
Oh,
Once these starts coming, the rumor apparently the rumor starts coming in like this. Eventually, they're remember Gylfi Sigurdsson, Everton player, um,
sorry, I don't remember.
Swansea player. He was Iceland international. He used to play for the Sigurdsson, Gylfi Sigurdsson. He had allegations like this. His career ended. Everton actually never, um, yeah. So he's nowhere to be found right now. And he was not a high profile player. That's why it was not like that. But anyways, so we move on from Arsenal.
Definitely, yeah. What Mason Greenwood did to go, even after making a comeback to football, it takes a lot of guts. It's an emotional thing to face the English media and do all of that, and then make a move to a different country and play that league and become a top scorer. I feel like he deserves a lot of respect for from the sportsman perspective. After off the field, whatever he did, I cannot comment on that since I know very little less. But I think that it takes a lot to make a comeback on the field. But moving on from Arsenal, Manchester United, I think Mohamed Kudus is prefers to join Tottenham Hotspur. There he was linked to Arsenal. He was linked to a lot of thing, but I think that he doesn't want to be at West Ham. So even Chelsea wants to interest in Mohamed Kudus. He really has potential and everything. And it would be exciting. It would be something really exciting to know over the next couple of weeks what happens to the fate of Mohamed Kudus. Heung-min Son was offered from LAFC. He turned it down. And Saudi Arabia clubs are going crazy, just like how they are going for Gabriel Martinelli. They want Heung-min Son, but he doesn't know yet where he's going. Most likely, he's having another stint at Tottenham Hotspur because they're definitely he has another chance of playing UEFA Champions League
We should
next season.
mention something about Tottenham that they signed Thomas Frank as the manager, the Brentford manager.
Yes,
Fired or sacked Ange Postecoglou.
yes.
So and there are rumors that Brian Mbumo, no, just kidding. Brian Mbumo is coming to Tottenham instead of going to Manchester United. Manchester United has been linked with Mbumo for a long time. I know. He's coming to Manchester United. You don't need to win the Europa League or play in the Champions League to get Matthews Cunha or Brian Mbumo. Just saying. If you got Viktor Gyökeres, I would have been like, yeah, you see, you don't need Champions League football. Just play in the
I
Premier League. You're good.
I know. Mbumo, I really wanted him. I mean, more than Gyökeres, I wanted Mbumo in our team, but it's okay. Cunha is there, I guess. I guess that will help us. Some Moshla news. Man City is you know how this year's record transfer is Florian Wirtz. 2021's record transfer was Jack Grealish. Manchester City got him, and they're ready. Reportedly, according to the Sun, they're willing to let him go for just 40 million.
Hmm. He should come to Manchester United and get drunk.
He's not going.
He should get drunk, become like Wayne Rooney, come to training sessions completely drunk, and play on the left wing like he just had a hangover. You know?
So we've also gone past our 30-minute mark. So what else do we have left to cover?
We go for another 30 minutes. No, just kidding. Uh, we have no, we have a lot of so Chelsea. We can just quickly say who Chelsea signed. Chelsea signed Liam Delap. Chelsea signed William Estevio. They signed it a long time ago, but he's coming to play. He's a Brazilian kid.
The Brazilian team, yeah.
Brazilian Palmeiras Shate Kelto. So he played in the FIFA Club World Cup. He's coming. They signed João Pedro was the quickest and the most surprising transfer of the season. They did it
So
in
far,
apparently 48 hours. And Brighton were like, "Oh yeah, we got the money. We don't need you. We got that position covered." So
with Danny Welbeck.
no. They have a bunch of players. They have Minte. They have that other guy, the French guy. I keep forgetting his name. He did pretty good in the FBL towards the end. Um,
French guy in Brighton.
that's Brighton has this Brighton number tens. There's this guy. I keep forgetting his name, man. You get? Did I tell you?
Neil Maupay.
They have Encisco, but he's not the guy.
And Cisco is South American.
Yeah, he's coming back. Uh, they have also Bonanote, your favorite.
Not the yes. Oh, Rutter. Are you talking about Rutter?
Rotter. Yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
Georgino Rutter. Yeah.
Georgina Rotter. So they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna that's João Pedro's.
If he's French, that means his name is pronounced Georgino Rutter.
Okay, that's enough. French,
Yeah. We also
Georgina
yeah.
Rotter, French soccer player. Yeah, man. That's
Yeah, he's a good player. Brighton is good. Brighton doesn't need to worry about anything. I think that we forgot to mention about Anthony Langa.
who's coming. Who's he got? Come on, give me that martial art scoop.
Anthony Langa, Newcastle United have submitted 55 million, a massive, massive bid to Nottingham Forest for Anthony Langa. And there are rumors that it's going to happen. But remember, Nottingham Forest rely heavily on Anthony Langa and a couple of other players. For example, the midfield guy, I forget his name, an English guy with curly hair.
Gibbs White.
Morgan Gibbs White, thank you. So these kind of players, they rely heavily on to supply to Chris Wood. And I don't know if the Wood factor is going to be there upcoming season, but Ilanga. if he goes to Newcastle, Newcastle attack is gonna look crazy.
He's gonna replace somebody on the right wing.
Yes, he's gonna. So last season it was all about Harvey Barnes, and Anthony Gordon had a lot of injuries last season.
But that was
And then
that's the left wing. Right wing was what?
right wing was
Jacob Murphy.
Jacob Murphy. Thank you. Jacob Murphy was really good last season. So I think they're trying to switch like Premier League plus the Europe. So Anthony Langa plus Jacob Murphy.
Alexander Isak to Liverpool. The rumors still persist.
Oh my God, that's gonna be crazy if he makes it to Liverpool.
And Liverpool actually sold, I think, a couple of players, right? Kwanzaa to Bayern Leverkusen, and who else? We should. I mean, we don't care about Liverpool, but we should know about Liverpool's incoming and outgoings. So far, they have signed uh, Florian Wirtz. Um,
Newcastle? Oh, Liverpool. Yeah.
Liverpool.
They
So
have Newcastle's just William Oshula, Lloyd Kelly, John Ruddy, Lewis Hall have signed a new deal, and Antonio Cordero. None of them are known names, but they've made a few signings.
so Newcastle to Anthony Langa to Newcastle. Who else is a rumor that you want to talk about? Real Madrid coming after some Arsenal assets. They signed Trent. They signed Dean Huyson. Um, there's rumors that they might come after William Saliba or Ibrahima Konate. So as a center back. So that's a rumor still persisting. Um,
Yeah, Saliba one is not that ironclad, but Konate one is very much possible.
Another one is possible. He has not renewed his contract.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So and then Tottenham, if Kudus comes to Tottenham, then that's Tottenham's going to play Champions League. So I'm just going to say I don't be surprised if there are some Brentford players coming to Tottenham.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, and then what is the latest? I think we covered most of the transfers.
We covered most of them, yes.
Yeah. So anyone wants Baliba to Manchester United?
We can only dream.
Better than Ugarte.
He's good, yeah, he's good.
Um, and anyways, any other? Oh, can we talk about before wrapping up? Can we talk about the Club World Cup,
You
please?
can, yes.
I have not seen, apart from I think Real Madrid and Juventus game, only second half. I have not seen any games of the Club World Cup. Not even the one that they played, um, PSG versus Bayern Munich. I have not seen that. I have not seen Real Madrid versus Dortmund live. I'm showing that the highlights, bits and pieces here and there. But I might see the next game, Real Madrid versus PSG. That's definitely something that
Top
I'm watching.
shelf, top shelf football
Top shelf. And the rumor is that the ticket prices went as low as $14.
before
14,
Madrid qualified.
no, $14 on at the gate. So if you went to MetLife Stadium, you probably was able to get in with 15 bucks. So
The day the game was being played,
the day the
Madrid,
game was being played.
Real Madrid and Dortmund.
It's either Real Madrid or Dortmund or PSG or Bayern Munich, either or. But
Okay.
out of those
That
three.
took place in Georgia.
So yeah, either or. But I think MetLife. I think the news was from MetLife. So
Okay,
Real
no,
Madrid
no, my friends paid a hefty price to go watch Dortmund and Real Madrid.
because they bought it earlier. There's a new the Jamal Musiala's injury. We should talk about it.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was such an insane injury. I felt so bad. It was terrible.
That was Donnarumma's fault, whichever way you see it.
It is unuseful, but it's I feel so bad. Like he's so young, and he might even miss next year's World Cup, and he's essential for Germany
So if that injury happened before in the transfer window, I think before Florian Wirtz signed for Liverpool, I think Bayern would have gotten Florian Wirtz.
for sure. Yeah, for sure.
So they're
They
after.
would have they would have gone past all records and secured Florian Wirtz for sure. Yeah.
They're going after number 10. All right, so I think we have dragged it 10 more minutes. I couldn't drag it for 30 more minutes after the 30-minute mark. So yeah, so I think that's it. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in and listening to us. We promise we will be very much going forward. We will be very active, and the episodes will start flowing in.
Every week, every week.
Promise that yet, but we'll see. We'll see. The schedule is all over the place, but yeah, all you can do is that please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment. Let's get the comment section going. If you agree or disagree, Emi Martinez to Manchester United, the best goalkeeper in the world to Manchester United. What do you guys think, huh? Anyways, we'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.
Take care.